Hello everyone, welcome to yet another problem from Leetcode, and this problem says find all duplicates in an array. So it's a pretty medium problem. Do not worry about much because within the first glance it might seem easy. We will also see what's a twist within it. So the problem statement goes like given an integer array nums of length n where all the integers of nums are in the range 1 to n and each integer appears once or twice. Return an array of all integers that appear twice. That's cool. So based upon the input statement, it seems that 2 and 3 appears twice. So that's the reason we have outputted as 2 and 3. So pretty straightforward. One can go ahead and argue that, hey, I can create a frequency table, and based on the frequency table, I'll get to know about the count, and once I got to know about count, I will return the array. What's a big deal? But wait, my dear friend, because this algorithm should run within O of n time and uses only constant extra space. And that's the only thing. So the frequency table won't work because it will take an O of n space complexity. So how do you solve this? So let's jump back to frequency table because that was the root of our solution. So if we didn't found anything, so we'll fall back to that solution. Spoiler alert, we'll find a better solution. So earlier we used to have a frequency table, a table where we can match a value to count. So we had a value, we had a count, but that's not allowed now. Why? Because it takes an entirely new data structure. So it takes a new data structure which is an array. So it takes a new array altogether. But what if I can say you that no need to take an new array, just use existing array. So how do we use an existing array? Let's take a value or array for that matter, which is 1, 1, 2. Or let's take it simple like 1, 2, 1. So here we find out that we'll iterate one by one. So as we used to do within the count or frequency map or frequency table for that fact. So we iterate one by one element. We find the value, we update a count. We find a value, we update a count. We find a value, we update a count, and so on. In this as well, we'll go ahead and do a similar operation. Let me make some spacing, and yeah, that's good. So initially this is our array and this is our pointer. So we are initially at 1. So count of 1 would be 1. Once we advance, the count of 2 would be 1. So based on this, uh, we came to know that for 1, the value of 1, we have updating the count. So what if not using the existing array, we go ahead and mark 1 as with some pointer. Like let's suppose we are adding or we marking it as minus, so negative, because we have already visited 1. So position 1 should be minus 1. So position 2 should be minus 2 as well. And going forward, we have certain state like this, and our iterator would go to the last element of an array, which is 1, and it will see, oh, on the position 1, it is actually marked minus 1. That means minus the 1 is already visited. So element 1 is already visited. So it means that is 1 is repeating. And my dear folks, if 1 is repeating, or for that matter any elements is repeating, we need to add into the result. So result dot add repeating number or element. So that's all it is. What we did was nothing but we took a number, or we took an element one by one. Next, this is the first step. Next step, we marked the position as negative. Next, we checked the element on that position to be negative, and based on it, we conclude the decision. I'll also add a fourth step based on which we populate the result array, and ultimately we return the result array. This is the basic thing what we are doing, and this is the gist of a problem. This is how problem solving works, and now we need to convert this algorithm into a working code. So let's not waste a further time, and we need to iterate one by one element. So instead of this, we are iterating one by one element. So I'm taking int element from nums, and I'm iterating one by one element. Let's take second operation, which is mark the position as negative. So int index, or for that matter, we'll get a position. We take the position. It's better option for it. So int index, or I'll say int position, is element, or for that matter is math.abs of element. Why abs? Why do I want absolute? Because position is not negative number, and the element may or may not be a negative number. You might ask, hey, the input array is all positive, so why it can be negative? Remember, my friend, we are marking this as negative, so input is all good, but we are doing our stuffs over here. That's the reason we need to add this sanity check over here. And obviously -1. Why -1? Because index issues. Initially, if element is 1, we need to convert it into 0. Similarly, element is 2, we need to convert it into 1. So index issues, not a big deal. If your language supports indexing from 1, then you're good to go without -1 as well. So let's take an operation number 3, which is nothing but check if the element is negative or not. So nums and position. So element at that position, we have a position, we have an array. Now we are checking if this element is less than 0, which means it is negative, which implies that it has been visited earlier. Remember the earlier example? We have 1, and we have then spotted 1 again, and once we saw that what is 1, and we found out it's minus, that is, it's a negative number, it means it has been visited, and hence we mark it as negative, and we store it within the result array. So we'll add math.abs and its element. Why element? Because we wanted to return the element, not the position. Anyways, element and positions are just differ by 1, so it completely makes sense if you write here position plus 1. Also, I have not declared the rest, but so let me quickly go ahead and use array list for this. and oops, yep, it works now. Now we have been populating it. Now based on, okay, this is the fourth step based on which we populate the result array, and ultimately this fifth step is return the result. And that's pretty much it. Within 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lines of code, we have managed to achieve our goal. But is it working? Let's check it out. So I'm running the sample test cases. Oops. Seems something is missing. What is it? Okay, we haven't marked it negative, so there is one step missing from us, which is mark visited. So we have not marked visited anything. So let's mark visited, which means, hey, we have already visited this. Remember, we have marked it minus over here, but within the code, we haven't used any negative. So let's do it. Nums of position multiplied by -1. So based on this, we have marked the position as visited, and then we iterate for the next positions, or sorry, or next elements, and check the next positions, and so on. So it seems that the sample test cases has been accepted. Let's run this program to submit it. Okay, so it seems that we have uh, submitted it and it has been accepted. So that's very good. So this was a basic question regarding hashing. So if you wanted to know more about array or solve array question, so I've made a video up on the right. Do click it up and I'll see you in the next one.
I've been searching for